Hello Commanders, I'd like to share with you a Hauler Explorer for those super budget conscious budding explorers out there. Maybe you've just upgraded from your Sidewinder or you're getting close. This current build that I'm showing here doesn't come without caveats, but we'll go through that as I show you the loadout. Okay, so you can see just on this screen here we've got a jump range of 28.55 light years per individual jump. Now I'll show you the loadout that achieves that. So here, hard points. I haven't taken any heatsink launchers. Again, if you've seen any of my other videos, I don't tend to use them, but there is space in the power for heat sinks to be taken. So if you wish to take that, then they may well get you out of trouble later down the road. So internally, obviously lightweight alloys, you don't want to add any weight with adding any bits and bobs here. They all add extra weight. I know it's only 1 or 2 tons, but it certainly makes a difference. Now, power plant. This is the first area where I've put a caveat in. Okay, so the power plant is D2. If you can afford it, get an A2. The reason I'm saying that is the heat efficiency is way better. As you can see here, the heat efficiency on the current D2 power plant that's fitted is heat efficiency D. Now, this is where I was saying, if you wish to take heat sinks, there is provision in the build to do so. If you're going to go out and you're planning to do thousands of scans, and you have one of those super unlucky moments of coming in on a binary or even a trinary star system, where you're smack in the middle and you're getting fried, then it's your choice. You take your risk. But what I'm showing you here is about as budget as we can possibly get, possibly with some other bits that we can look at later. But if you can afford it, if you can afford the extra 150,000, which is sort of pushing up up away from a true budget build, then I would suggest going to the A2 or even any of the others, really, to be honest, because they're slightly increased. They have slightly better heat efficiency. The A2 is the best. But currently we've got the D2. I've taken this little baby out for a spin, and it's all right. It's not too bad. It pushes 70% on full scooping. So, that's on I think that was on an M class star, possibly a K class. So, your mileage will vary, and obviously it depends on how diligent you are in your flying. Now, frame shift drive. This is, again, for those super budget conscious about you. You may be balking at the price, at the 160,000 for the frame shift, but you can drop it down. But obviously your range drops down significantly with it. So you'll lose yourself 5 light year range if you drop down, but you save yourself another 100,000. But if you can push it, if you've been patiently making your money, and this is your first ship out of the Sidewinder, or maybe even the Eagle, then you probably shouldn't have any trouble getting the 160,000 needed for the frame shift. Live Sport D1, Power Distributor D1. You can't get any less weight, less mass, and sensors D1. Obviously, with a larger ship, you could probably drop down a size, but we're already at the 1, so you can't go any lower. Fuel tank capacity 4. You don't really want to drop that down anymore. That will give you ridiculous you'll be able to fly to 1 star, and that's about it. You know, at range. I don't mean you know, on an economical route you'll be able to jump a fair distance on a smaller tank. I don't actually. Yes, you can get a smaller tank, but definitely don't do that. Now, this is another one of your options here. This is purely down to what you can afford and what you can go for. So we'll do this. No, that's not what I meant to do. If we do mass ascending, then we should be there, right? Oh, right. Let's do name ascending like I normally do. Right. So down to fuel scoops. Okay, so obviously I've got the size 3 bay selected at the moment, so we've got more choice here. Now, I've gone for the D3. It gives you 0.1 of a ton per second, and you've only got a 4-ton tank at the moment, so that's 40 seconds from fumes to full, which isn't too bad at all, to be honest. And it's only 14,000. You can go for others. You can go for whichever you wish, really. You know what I mean? You can see here that any smaller, you know, you're talking, it'll do the job, but you'll be spinning around that star or sat at that star scooping for quite some time. So, from a personal choice, for the cost conscious, I've gone for a D3. It's only 14,000, and it's about as good as you're going to get for that size. Obviously, if you start going up, C3 is another 40,000, and you get 0.03 of a ton. You get another 30 kilos per second, so it's very negligible, the difference. Going up to A3, where you're talking nearly 1 million, so that's almost twice the value of the entire build. So that's ridiculous. Again, this is another one of your options. Now, I've decided not to take a shield, because you only need a shield going out and coming back to protect yourself from any numpties trying to get you, you know, your pirates, or from taking a scrape or two coming back in through the docking port. However, the Hauler's a teeny weeny ship. If you've saved up enough cash to get to the point where you can afford this build, I assume you know how to fly. So again, mileage may vary. If you take a shield, then you could probably get away, especially with the mass. You can definitely get away with a D2. So let's have a look. So D2, it reduces our individual. Where we lost it here. It reduces our individual jump range by about 1 point, well, almost dead on 1 light year. So if you want that extra protection, go for it. Otherwise, that 1 light year might be the difference. Might make the difference. So especially, I mean, over a pile of economical jumps, that 1 light year certainly does add up, and you'll get a lot more range. However, peace of mind, again, it's the same as the heat sinks. If you want that protection, then please, you know, obviously go for it. But you're going to pretty much lose a light year per ton. So bear that in mind. Right, so detailed service scanner. Unfortunately, we can't get around it. This is an essential. So you can't really go out exploring without it, and unfortunately, it's 250,000. So that in itself is over half the build just in one item. So you know, suck it up, save up for that one. You won't get your name on anything. You won't get any decent credits for what you scan otherwise. So that's a necessary. Okay, so here, this is the big one. So I've stuck with the basic discovery scanner here. Now the basic discovery scanner obviously comes with the ship, so it doesn't cost you anything, but it's 1,000 if you've had the ship, maybe you've had the hauler and you've been doing some trading, doing some smuggling, and you've sold off the built-in scanner, so you rebuy it, it's only 1,000. Now, your range is 500 light seconds. So you jump into your star, you do your scan, you're only going to pick up unexplored items within those 500 light seconds. Now, I'm going to try and justify why this is a viable build. Because 500 light seconds, if you convert that to minutes, that's, what's that, 8 minutes? So, if we look at our own solar system, we can see that that's just on the border of what is called the Goldilocks zone for planets, for Earth-type planets. If we take a look, so, I mean, you say you came into this star, you did a scan. You may well pick up some Earth-like planets within this region. And it doesn't take a great deal of effort to shoot off 100, maybe 200 light seconds. Maybe going around the star, taking an orbit and pinging your scanner to get that extra 500 light second range here. So maybe a couple scan, one from this side of the star, this side, sort of take your 8 point, sort of 8 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 points, 5, 6, sort of looking at the sort of Z axis, looking into the screen and back into, back towards you, the viewer. Again, this purely is for the budget conscious, so I wouldn't suggest taking it. However, it is a viable option. Now, it will definitely get you, you'll be able to scan the stars, you'll be able to scan a lot of the close, high metallic objects, which you find hundreds and thousands, billions of them out there. But as I say, this, I'm sort of very much sort of focusing on as cheap as you can go. But if you can push to the, where's the intermediate? So intermediate. Oh. So we go down to the intermediate. Where have we lost it? Can't see it. There it is. So the intermediate is another 500,000. So again, it's doubling the total build cost for this, because this build comes in at 463,000. So it's about 100 grand more than the cost of a Cobra. But you'll be able to go all the way across the galaxy with a good individual range. So I mean, if you can go for this, then do so. But doing so will give you that 1,000 light seconds, which will easily pick up your Goldilocks, your so-called Goldilocks zone around the star, the main star. Obviously, it's not going to pick up a lot of orbiting stars and binary and trinary systems where the extra stars are further out. But if you're looking at the advanced scanner, that's another million on top again. So that's 1.5. That's obviously the normal go-to scanner to go for. But if you're trying to build on a budget, 1.5 million is a lot of money when you're starting out. But as I say, it is very much a build of compromises and allows you freedom to sort of add and subtract bits here and there. As I say, like I said earlier, you can drop your frame shift down, save a lot of money there, another 100,000 or more, but it will really impact your jump range. Okay, so if we take a look at how this build fares, we go to the galaxy map. Let's just do a similar thing to what I did on my Diamondback Explorer video. Let's head on out. So 483, let's make sure we're in a similar plane. Yeah, that'll do. So let's have a look. So we'll choose economic. So we're sort of simulating being out, possibly somewhere out, maybe towards the core, where you've got plenty of stars very close together, which will maximise your potential. So we can't see here. There's a scoopable star. Hold on, have I still got those? Yes, still got scoopables. Sorry, I'll just go on for a tangent for a second. If any of you guys don't know, then use the shortened. Again, I'm still using the same thing. I'm calling it an acronym. It's not, but KGB foam. So everything M and above, you go on this. Go by star class. That'll be all these stars are scoopable. That is your friend when you're out and about. So you'll only see the dots of scoopable stars. So just remember KGB foam. Okay, so we can see here that obviously it goes a little bit further, but this star is easy to pick up on because I can't choose this one because I haven't got it highlighted. But we can go over 400 light years on our pilly little 4-ton tank. Obviously using the economical routes, which would be fantastic, especially if you've headed out towards the core and the stars are so close together. You'll be able to get hundreds of stars in on one tank of fuel, and before you even have to consider trying to find a scoopable star. Obviously, always keep that in mind though. If we choose the same star and we go for fastest routes, you'll see that obviously it dramatically reduces our range. However, it's still pretty good. Let's zoom out because we're going to be here for quite some time. Let's go to the. Here we go. So we know we can get about 100 light years on a full tank. So I mean, an individual jump of nearly 29 light years and a fastest route range of 100 light years on one 4-ton tank. It's not the best, but then we're looking at a budget build. If we go back to our outfitting, one of the options you can take, because we have this empty compartment, is an extra fuel tank. So that will impact our range. So it'll be effectively 1 light year per ton of tank that you take, but then that massively increases your economical route and your fastest route range. But as I say, it impacts your individual jump range. So this sort of build would definitely suit going towards the core where the stars are more concentrated, and not so much going out towards the outer regions of the galaxy where the stars are sparse, or either up or down or out along the plane. But this will definitely serve you well going in. Without repeating myself again, heat is an issue. So oh no, cancel. Right, so we've got two utility mounts. You can take your heatsink launcher. They're not a lot of money. They're over a ton. So again, it will drop your light year range by just over 1 light year per heatsink launcher you take. Alright, commanders. I hope that's helpful to you. We can so you can see that for less than 500k you can get I don't like that picture. For less than 500,000 you can get yourself a galaxy trip, galaxy trip hauler, and get your names on those stars and planets. But It's very much a build of compromises. I think it's pretty good for the price, considering my last video showing the Diamondback Explorer weighed in at nearly 14 million, oh no, nearly 12 million for the total build. So we're talking about 4% less. About 4% of the cost or something stupid like that. So there you go, Commanders. You all take care and fly safe.